Have you ever noticed that strange things happen in some houses? For example, an apartment that has been unoccupied for a long time, but at night, suddenly, the light turns on, or someone invisible watching from the window, causing the curtains to move slightly? Today, I will tell you a story that will make you look at your neighbors differently. If you watch until the end, you will find out what is hidden behind the windows of the apartment where no one lives. Max moved into a new apartment a couple of months ago. A small house on the outskirts of the city seemed like the perfect place to live. Quiet courtyard, friendly neighbors, a park nearby. The only thing that was a bit unsettling was the empty apartment across from him. Its windows were always tightly shut with curtains, and it seemed that no one had lived there for a long time. The first week was calm, but one night, Max noticed something strange. The light in the opposite apartment turned on. It was unexpected, as he had never seen anyone enter or leave that apartment. Maybe someone finally bought it, Max thought. However, neither the next morning nor the following day did he see any new residents. The light did not turn on again. It seemed strange, but Max quickly forgot about it, thinking that maybe someone had just been checking the place. Another week passed. Around 2 in the morning, Max noticed the light in the window again. This time, he clearly saw a silhouette standing near the curtain. But the strangest thing was that the silhouette was blurry, as if out of focus. Max froze, staring, but a moment later, the light went out. He felt uneasy, but he tried to convince himself that he was just tired. Maybe someone really lived there, and it wasn't worth worrying about it so much. But soon, the situation repeated itself. Every night, at the same time, the light in the opposite apartment turned on, and again the shadow appeared behind the curtain. Max could not understand who it was. During the day, the apartment looked abandoned, but at night, one day he decided to check if someone was actually there. The next day, he asked the concierge about the apartment. The concierge frowned and replied that no one had lived there for several years. The owner had died, and the relatives couldn't decide what to do with it. But I saw the light there at night, Max said. The concierge just shook his head. You must be mistaken. No one has been inside for a long time. Only the relatives have the keys, but they haven't been here in months. This puzzled Max even more. He decided to find out what was going on himself. That night, he stayed up. At 2 in the morning, the light turned on again. Max grabbed his phone, turned on the camera, and started recording. What he saw on the screen was strange. In the window, there was not just a shadow, now he could see a face. Black, empty eyes, pale skin. The figure was motionless, but it seemed to be staring directly at him. Max recoiled, his heart pounding wildly. The next day, he decided to show the video to his neighbor from the same floor, an elderly man named Peter. Peter watched the recording and turned pale. You saw her, Peter whispered. Who? Max asked. The woman who died there. They say she never left the apartment, and she is waiting for someone. Max couldn't believe it. He decided to check for himself. That evening, he set up his camera on the windowsill and started recording all night. The next morning, he watched the footage. For several hours, nothing happened. But at 2 in the morning, the shadow appeared again. The figure moved closer to the window, and suddenly the camera started glitching, the image distorting. At the last moment before the recording cut off, he saw that the figure turned its head directly toward him, as if it knew he was watching. That night, Max heard strange noises in his apartment. It sounded like someone whispering behind him. He turned around, no one was there. But the feeling of being watched didn't leave him. The next day, he went back to the concierge, but this time, the man refused to talk. Forget about it. Don't get involved, he said firmly. Max decided to leave this building. A few days later, he moved out, but before leaving, he looked at the apartment across from him one last time. The light turned on again, but now he knew for sure that no one had gone inside. If you enjoyed the story, leave a like and comment on what you think. What do you believe it was? A ghost or something else? Let's get 5,000 likes, and I will tell another eerie story about mysterious places. Subscribe so you don't miss new mystical stories.